Hello, Shakespeare. I'm Rashni Patel. I'm going to be interviewing you today. Okay, so tell me, how many siblings did you have?
I'm the third of 8 children. However, my two older sisters, Margaret and Joanne, had died before I was born. I had other younger brothers and two other younger sisters, Gilbert, Edmund, Richard, Anne, and Joanne.
Oh, okay. So, what type of literature did you write?
As a young man, I enjoyed writing comedy such as The Taming of the Shrew. However, I grew older and my thoughts turned to history, and I wrote historical plays like Julius Caesar. As I matured and became more well known and a fun, I began to write tragedies like Hamlet and King Lear. During the twilight of my career, when I had reached middle age, I wrote aesthetic plays like The Tempest. Then, when I was approximately 32 years of age, I produced the play of Romeo and Juliet. Fame. This love play inspired and educated many people about love.
Okay. So, one question. How did you feel about losing your child?
Uh, when my only son, Hamlet, contracted the Black Plague at the age of 11 and died, it devastated me. My wife and our two daughters, particularly Hamlet's twin Judith, the death of a child is a difficult thing for a parent to deal with, but I found it particularly hard to cope with because he was so young and the manner of his death was so unpleasant. Seeing poor Judith without her beloved twin was a constant reminder of his death, and the pain that it brought was devastating.
I'm sorry to hear that. So, what inspired you to begin writing?
I always knew I was destined to write. Some people are like that. They need to create. They need to be creative. Just takes over. I received a good education in Stanford on Avon, which probably formed the basis for my literature career. I began writing when I moved to London with my wife.
Oh, okay. So, did you enjoy your books or plays more?
I considered my plays to be a manifest of the essence of my soul. They are representative of my interest and the various stages of my life. For example, the play Hamlet shows the interest I had at the time in the changing world around me. England was becoming less medieval and more modern in terms of society, politics, and religion. This is reflected in Hamlet's recluse and to avenge his father's death in such a medieval manner.
Oh, okay. So, how did you manage to produce such a magnificent play that still leaves effects upon people today?
Mary, Romeo and Juliet is a heartstopper. In the year of 1512, a man named Arthur Brooke inspired me to conduct a love story based on a couple named Romeo and Juliet. Arthur Brooke was an English poet. He was not a popular man back in the 1500s. Hence, I love to read his poems. One evening, I read his new poem titled "The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet." This was my inspiration of love, and I took it to the next level and made it magnificent. Play the from the theme of this poem. I did add many conflicts and a sharp climax. That is how I made this masterpiece.